Hello everyone, it's been a time. It is the first day of summer and I just looked at my YouTube channel and discovered that it's been 2 months ago since I had anything on there. So we have got to catch you up on what has been going on for the last 2 months. This is my daughter, Suzanne. You have seen her so many times in so many videos, but she never really has gotten to talk.
I have not.
No. So we're going to talk and we're going to tell you what has been up.
Lots to talk about.
So
yes.
She's been out of school now. Nearly a month.
Nearly a month.
Because you got out May the
26th.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was graduation.
Okay, so this is June 21st, because I said it's the first day of summer. So all this month, tell everybody what you've been working on, especially at the beginning of the summer.
I am a yearbook advisor for my local high school. So after graduation, I had to put in the yearbook the pictures for the photos that were to be added to the yearbook because we wanted to cover the entire year. That's what our admin wanted us to do, so that's what I did. Is put those in, plus work on last minute details of the yearbook before I send it in to be published.
So really, her summer didn't start till about 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Because I worked 2 weeks after I got out of school. I worked on the yearbook.
Yeah. So since then, we haven't been doing much of anything because we've been resting.
No traveling.
So we are outside. This is my patio garden area, and we've flipped it around so you can see the backyard. Of course, there's not that much to see. And every once in a while, you will hear a car, and it is not test track. It sure sounds like it, but it's not. It's just that we live right by a farm-to-market road, and so the pickups and the trucks go by all the time. And you can hear the lovely birds. We
Sounds like a different freeway and an interstate.
Yeah, we have a lot of different varieties of birds, so you're going to hear them too. But we thought we'd do it outside because the lighting's pretty. It's a kind of a pretty day. It's not super sunny, and it's a little bit cloudy. The sun comes in and out. We've had a lot of cumulus clouds, so thought it would be neat to come out here and record and talk. This is just a talk video.
A talking session.
Yeah. So, usually I'm not in glasses, and I'm in glasses because on March the 23rd, I had detached retina surgery. What the front door? I mean, it was like, where did this come from? On March the 10th, I turned 64, and I don't know, it seems like in December of 2021, we were supposed to go on a trip to Florida, to Disney World in December.
Well, in December, yeah.
And yours truly contracted COVID. Where, how, what, I don't know. And it was the middle of December, and I did not know I had it until I finally gave up and went to the doctor. I didn't have typical COVID symptoms. I was congested, but there was no cough, no difficulty breathing. I just didn't feel good. My stomach and my back were having a war with each other, and that's basically all I was feeling. So I finally gave up and went to the doctor about 5 days before we were supposed to leave, and found out you have COVID and you're not going anywhere. So we all sat and bawled and cried, and Suzanne couldn't even come home for Christmas until you got to come home Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Yeah. So I had to wait 10 days, so back that up, to 14th of December, and anyway, we were grounded because of me, and it was really difficult because we've been going to Disney for Christmas for many years. I don't even know how many, but it was heartbreaking, and what are you going to do? It just happened. So then 3 months later, which would have been March, my hair started falling out. I mean, it's not funny. I mean, I was like, what in the world is going on? So, of course, being a former educator, I get on the internet and searched and read, and discovered that it's happening to a lot of people who've had COVID. It's like you have COVID, and then 3 months later, your hair falls out. And it was like, not like clumps, not like you're going to have alopecia or anything like that. What I finally discovered is that your hair goes through several cycles, and mine was in telogen effluvium, which is where the hair actually comes out like it's supposed to, but it stays in that stage longer than it's necessary, and so it all starts coming out at once instead of like it's supposed to. You can lose 50 to 100 strands of hair every day, which is crazy, and you think,
how could that possibly be?
Yeah, but it, but it was more. It was just like, not like handfuls, but it covered my palm, and it was scary. And anyway, I discovered the reason could have been because of COVID. It's like any trauma that happens, your body reacts later, and my hair reacted later. Now, you can look at my hair and you probably go, well, she got a lot of hair. But I do, but because it is curly, when I wash it and dry it, oops. So you really don't notice it until my hair is wet. And when it's wet, when I make a ponytail, the ponytail is not even, I can, like a straw, or a pencil maybe, it's a pencil size. And my hair was always like my lovely daughter, very thick, very heavy. She has a lot more hair than I ever did. But
thick.
When she makes a ponytail, her ponytail's gonna be, huge. Yeah.
That's a lot of hair.
Yeah. And mine is not any longer. But I'm coming out of it. My hair's not falling out as much, and I think I'm on the mend. So anyway, back to the glasses. So then, after I lost hair, we'd gone on a trip, and I noticed there was something weird going on. I wasn't seeing as good as I normally do, and I had woken up one morning before our trip, a couple weeks before we went for spring break, and I was having floaters, the little string-like things that come over your eye in my left eye. And I didn't really think anything about it because my sister-in-law had floaters, my sister had floaters, my mother had floaters, and they couldn't about. I thought, I'm just going to have floaters for a while, or it may be forever. And then it got more so that the floaters sort of lessened, and I began to have a shadow that, like you can't see in the upper portion of your eye. But it was necessary for us to go on this spring break because
I am also a regional rep for Region 17, which is in Texas. It's the TAEA Art Educators Association, where we have to meet, talk about future things like how we run the competitions for art, who we vote in for offices and officers, and talking about the website that they're changing it up, or they're wanting to change it up, try to go with a different company than what they were going with, and just kind of covering all the bases of what goes on in Texas as far as art education goes.
Yeah, so she had it's a big responsibility, and I knew that she needed to go to this meeting, or we felt like she needed to since this was her first year. So I wasn't going to mess this trip up. Plus, my sister-in-law needed to see her son, who lives in Austin, so we just needed to go on this trip. I thought, I will deal with whatever's going on with my eye when we get back.
Got things floating.
Yeah, we got a few feathers flying around. Anyway, so we go on the trip, I come back, And my optometrist told me if anything changed or was different. And by the way, she had looked at me 2 times before we went on the trip, and she said, "You have vitriol separate. It was the separation of my vitreous,
which is not as bad as a torn retina, as she thought.
but it could lead to it. But it wasn't there yet. Well, when I got back, it was there yet. So I went to her as soon as we got back. It was like, I guess, a Monday. Didn't I go Monday? You went back to school, and I went to her Monday. And she very gently said, "I'm sending you to a retina specialist now." And she did some tests and showed me. She says, "I think that you've got a tear, and we need to look at it." So I went to him immediately, and it was a tear. So he said, "I will be doing surgery on you in 2 days." So, it was like COVID. And then it was, you're losing your hair. And we had to go on this trip. And you come home and you've got a retinal detachment that's only supposed to be happening, I thought, to people who are in the 90s. No. I mean, it can happen to people in their 20s, he said. But this is what disturbed me. 1 in 10,000 people get a detached retina.
That's a lot.
So we live in a town of about 2,800. The town next to us has 1,400. We live in this area where there's very small towns. Mm-hmm. So you could take 6 or 7 of those towns, and that's 1 in 10,000. And who has it? Mom! I just, there's just sometimes when you feel like, now, Lord, I understand things happen for a reason, but really, this has just been like one thing after another. But it's not just me. It has felt like that with a lot of people. Even you said, what else can go wrong? And what else can happen in our world? And our world's nuts.
Crazy. Sad.
But even you, didn't you say this has been one of your most challenging?
Of all the YouTubers I watch that are teachers, they have all said that this has been the most challenging year for all educators around the world, because we have been getting back from the pandemic, and these kids are like behind in their years, so we're having to like catch them up. It's like starting all over from being a baby, going to elementary, going to junior high, going to high school. It's just building those blocks.
Because they had nearly a year and a half off. They were remotely learning from that spring, and then you started remote. Did y'all start remotely? Some schools did, but y'all did not.
No, we didn't start remotely.
But there were some kids who stayed home
that year. Yeah, that year. Before, during the pandemic year.
Yeah. But and then everybody was in masks and all that. But I don't know. Even on the news, it said that the other day we were listening, and it said, what job has become the most challenging and difficult jobs? And it's education, it's teaching, which you probably have. There are people out there who have all these different kinds of jobs. The medical profession, firefighters. I mean, who can we name that have
nurses, doctors?
Yeah, y'all have it just as bad, but it just seems like education, what is going on? It's just pitiful. Kids don't want to do a thing. And I don't know if the pandemic did it, because they got so used to staying at home and getting up when they pleased and doing their work or not doing their work, because there were no
consequences.
No, not really.
Rules.
So, we don't have to do it. But anyway, I get to hear about that, and I feel for all of them. I'm sorry for all of them. And then stuff was going on with me, and then my husband has had to deal with things, and he had to step in and be a band director again, because he was a band director many years ago, and then got into administration, and is still not in the principal side, but he still works
like a testing coordinator.
Yeah. So he's still in education, just not the teaching part. But he had to fill in after spring break because things happened with some of the directors. And here we go. So he had to take over a band, the junior high band. But, so we've all kind of been through it. So anyway, that is why I am in my glasses. If I take my glasses off, you're not even there. It's just, I can see, but it's just not great. So anyway, actual reason for glasses is, I had my retina surgery, and I had the one which was called a vitrectomy, which means they put a gas bubble in your eye, and my gas bubble was not as much as some people that I read about. I only had to stay head down for 3 days.
In most cases, 2 weeks.
Yeah, some people were, literally face down for 10 to 14 days. And mine was just look down for 3 days. But because of my astigmatism, my nearsightedness, which has, I believe it's myopia, is what it's called. Mine is bad. I'm really, really, really nearsighted. And that is one of the reasons for the retinal detachment. Later in the years, it can happen. And it happened a little sooner than I was.
I'm amazed at how she can memorize all these humongous words.
I have read and read until I'm sick. And actually, my doctor told me to get off and quit reading it because it will give you anxiety. And it does, kind of, because not everything that you read is true. You do have to be careful. But there are some places out there that everything that he told me is exactly what I read. So I still think you can do your research. Just be careful about it. And so anyway, so now because of the gas bubble, it accelerated my cataract, which, at this age, people begin to develop cataracts. And my optometrist knew that they were there, but because of the gas bubble, it made it worse. So my left eye, I cannot see well. I can see well enough to drive because my right eye is good with correction. But it's not great. And my the way I see looking down is very difficult because you can see really good with one eye and you can't see squat with the other one, so it kind of throws your balance off. But I can still drive well enough.
Those kinds of lenses where one is for one thing, one for the other.
I did. I had contacts for farsighted and nearsighted, and it sort of was the same thing. But now this other one is so covered because of the cataract that, anyway, that appointment is coming up Monday, and we get to see when I get to have cataract surgery. So this is just one thing after another. But I just want to get it fixed, and I want to see again, and I want to go back to a contact in this eye if I can. And I would love for him to be able to tell me that this one's going to have at least 20/20 or 20/40. I could live with a little correction if I had to. But what I have read, and I know you're not supposed to read it, but I read that cataract surgery after a retinal detachment is a lot more difficult because the vitreous jelly is not there to hold the lens in place. And so they have to finagle and figure out how to get it to work. So I don't know what I'm facing, but it also brings another trip that we had planned in June. We were supposed to leave June the 4th, and we did not get to go once again because of me. And that was because
it
it
happened to anybody.
It can, but when you're the fault, you just beat yourself up, and that's just the way it goes. But anyway, so now we're chilling out, reading books. And you've got 3 books going.
I've got 3 books going.
What are you reading?
The Maidens.
Who's the author on that?
Alex, Michael. I can't even see.
She's looking at the title. She's reading 3 books. But anyway, one of it is The Maidens. Oh, she's going to bring them over here so you can see it better.
The Maidens.
Show it backwards. It's upside down. No, it won't. No.
Got it at Target. This was a inspiration from people that I follow on YouTube or Instagram or my friends on Facebook. This I just found on Amazon, crushing YouTube, trying to make a better YouTube channel. And this is what I have to read for school, which is a professional development book study. And it's also TAEA, and they are reading the art therapy source book. It's very interesting.
And do you have to do 3 books for that, or just one? For the TAEA?
There's one in the summer, one in the winter, one in the spring, if you have time.
And she does that because if you have a teaching certificate in Texas,
you have to have so many hours of professional development.
Every 5 years, you have. Do you know how many you have to have? Like 200 hours or something? Or I don't know.
I don't even know anymore. I don't think we're really keeping up.
But she has a notebook that she keeps all
those certificates.
So anyway, she's reading that, and I read a book on prophecy that was very good. I didn't bring it out, so I can't tell you what it was. And then I'm really into Dr. David Jeremiah. He's just an excellent prophecy evangelist and teacher and author, and I read a lot of his stuff. So I read his monthly magazines, and then I'm also reading at the same time Where the Crawdads Sing, which you've already read.
I've already read. It's very good. It's going to be a movie coming out pretty soon, July, I think.
We're already July. Yeah, I gotta get it read then, because I just started. But yeah, it is good, but depressing a little bit.
It's kind of romantic, mystery, drama. Definitely lots of drama.
Yeah. So that's what we've been up to, and we just wanted to hop on here and tell you what's going on. And wish I had news that we were planning a trip. But right now we're not, until we find out what happens with
maybe in 6 months.
The ancient person over here. I told Susanna Reeds that, it bothered me because when we first went into the retina specialist office, I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but it's true. Everybody in there is on their deathbed. They are in walkers and wheelchairs, and here I am, that I know I look old. I'm 30 years older than my daughter, but in my heart, I'm 32. It's just always kind of been that way. I've always just kind of been that age and thinking. And it's hard to get older and have things happen to you and you start falling apart. And it's difficult to go to offices where everybody is so medically challenged, and I don't want to think that I am, but I guess I am.
Things could be so much worse, though.
They could. She's the optimist, like my husband. Their glasses are half full, and mine is always, I want to be the other way so bad, but I have to be honest, mine is always half empty. I am not good. I'm not the optimist in the family. Wish I was.
He's the negative.
I try not to be, but
gotta turn that frown upside down.
yeah. And I hate glasses. Glasses make me feel like I'm in a cage, like I'm being, like I just feel pinned in. And of course, I was in glasses since I was in 6th grade. And then when I got in college, my senior year, I finally got contacts and paid for them myself.
I was in glasses since 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and then did I get on my 10th or my senior year?
10th or 11th?
10th or 11th,
I think.
So I wear contacts.
And I don't think her eyes are as bad as mine. I hope not. I hope she doesn't ever have to go through all this. But she's not quite as nearsighted, I don't think, as I am.
If I took out my contacts, I could see images. I can read up close.
Yeah, I can
that
too.
I can't see in a far off distance.
Yeah, even with the cataract, I can see. Like if I take my glasses off, I can read right here. You know, but it's, so if you have good vision, just you're blessed. Just, you know, when something happens to one of your senses,
You don't realize how much you count on it.
you don't.
So it's
And
taken
how
away.
we take things for granted, so bad. And I'm just as guilty, and you know, feel bad about not being more thankful for things. But you know, even COVID took away people's sense of smell and taste. Took my smell for a while, but it's back. It wasn't gone long, and I don't think it was as bad as other people's. But you know, COVID was a mess, and I just want to slap
Disaster.
the crap out of whoever let this go and let this out. But things will hopefully improve and get better, and I hope we don't have to go through all that again. But you know, if you read the Bible and you read Revelation, you know it's really not going to get better until our precious Lord comes back. Maranatha, I am ready. That's means Jesus, Lord, come quickly.
It's okay. It'd be great if you come back before school starts.
It would be okay. Yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to discuss or talk about? We come out every day, nearly every day when she's home in the summer, and we sit out and read and talk and visit and discuss and just enjoy the outdoors and listening to the birds. And my husband and I work out in the yard probably every 10 days or so. It's a long, difficult time. I usually spend about 6 hours out here.
I had no green thumb. None.
She used to help me though. You used to come out and help me dig and things, but I couldn't even get her to go outside when she was little. It was like we had to bribe her to bring her outside. You want to go slide? No. You want to go out and swing? No. It was like pulling teeth to get her to go outside. And we would make her. Do you remember us making you go outside where the swing set was? And we would play chase and try to get some activity going.
Badminton.
Yeah, just anything to get her
going.
to go in. Because she was just an inside girl. But my nephew was too.
He was.
Yeah, my husband's sister's son. He was an indoor.
He was an
indoor dude.
person. He liked to read a lot.
And he's brilliant too. So maybe that's okay if you're brilliant and like to read. I think that's a good thing. So I'm hearing a sound that sounds like a hummingbird. I have a hummingbird feeder. We occasionally have. I'm not lucky enough to get a lot of hummingbirds like they do in the upper north part of Texas. But where we live in the Panhandle area of Texas, we will get occasional hummingbirds and cardinals and blue jays. Every once in a while. But I'm hearing that clicking sound that the hummingbird makes.
Yeah.
So it's either a hummingbird or it could be a cardinal. I put out some food. The rest of it's gone. I had the hummingbird.
It
I mean,
is.
not hummingbird. I had the bird seed feeder full.
And now
2 days ago, and it's gone.
Out.
So I was trying to attract some cardinals while we were sitting out here so we could watch them. And we had a few butterflies. We get monarchs usually more closer to the end of.
what was that year that you had like literally butterflies in the tree?
Yes, that's been a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. And they were monarchs. They were on their way. They were on their Mexico journey. And video link. I have a video of them that you could visit and see. It was amazing, just unbelievable. But we'll have a few, what are they called? They're like fake monarchs.
Yeah, monarchs. We had the yellow and black. Don't know what those are called.
Painted ladies is what I was trying to think. We have a lot of painted ladies.
Is that the yellow and black?
No, I can't remember what the yellow and black are called. But... See, I hear that little squeak. So if the hummingbird comes, maybe we can get a picture of them. They're like a swallowtail, aren't they?
Yellow butterfly wing color upper side. Oh, has swallowtail?
Yeah, a little swallowtail.
Those kind.
And they're really pretty. They have a little bit of blue on them. I saw one a couple of days ago, and I'm just always so thrilled when they come. But
we get dragonflies more towards July.
I used to tease her. When the dragonflies would come, school was about to start. And when I was still teaching, and the dragonflies came, it was time to go set up my room.
No, it's the cicadas. That's when you know B-Day is coming.
And that would be about the middle of July, and I would say, it's time to go set up my classroom. And I don't have to worry about that anymore.
I love decorating my classroom. I love getting it all set up.
Yeah. That's the fun part.
That's the fun part.
Before they come. They just come and mess it all up.
Just know I love my kids, whether they're good or bad. I do.
And she's a good teacher. She has a very big heart for her students, and whether they know it or not, she loves them. They may not think that she does, but she does. And I know some of them know, and I know she cares. And there are teachers, we gotta have teachers like that. We gotta have people who care for these little kids, because it's rough, it's hard. And of course, she's teaching high school and has for 6 years. Is that right? You're getting ready to go on 7.
Lucky number 7, God's favorite number.
Maybe this will be the treasure year.
I hope so.
But then before that, before she taught high school, she was in my school in elementary as a paraprofessional for a couple of years, and did a really good job and really enjoyed that too. So that gave her a little bit of little taste. Do you really want to be in education? Yeah, she said it. Tell them what you're doing, what the school is offering this year coming up.
To keep teachers in, keep them to stay and not retire, leave, or resign. They are offering extra pay for those that have conferences, and on those conference periods to sub for other teachers that are gone that day, and you'll get extra pay included on your next paycheck.
Which to me would be very difficult for me to do. Suzanne can do it. She's young, but I would have a hard time doing it, because all my extra time was, of course, I was in elementary, and elementary, all the free time you have to spend prepping for the next group that comes in, where high school, they get their own stuff, and but little kids, I had to have it ready. Yeah, supposed to. Anyway. But yeah, we're hurting. Everywhere is hurting for substitute teachers. They want all of us to come back, and a lot of my friends
retire
have come back, and some of them have done that. Retire. My husband did. He was a retire, and he rehired back for half a day. But I just haven't felt that desire or need, or I'm not desperate yet. It may get there. No, what I want to do, I make jewelry, and of course my jewelry videos are on here too. I would like for that to take off. I want to do art now, not just teach art. But all art people want to do that. Suzanne would like to do that too.
Our dream would like to be having our own boutique or shop.
Yes.
One side jewelry, one side graphic design, where I could create invitations, senior pictures. What I have to do for my yearbook is create senior ads, and like those people that graduate, they ask for your mailing address and they send you out the graduation occasions and they have those pictures. That's what I would do.
This would be great. So there's a need for graphic design just everywhere. But the teaching, it's just no one wants to do this anymore.
It's sad.
And I guess what is the number one that would make you feel like it would just flat push you out the door? Is it behavior?
Yeah.
So it's not even like administration,
No.
because most of them are fairly supportive.
Fairly supportive.
But the kids just, they don't care what they say to you. I have been just amazed what comebacks they have and what they say. And I didn't have to go through that.
No filter.
No. And of course, 5 years ago when I retired, it was, I could see it in my fifth graders. I could see.
You could see it coming.
You could. It's almost like I stopped at just the right time.
And in fact, when I moved to my new job, which I love and enjoy, who I work with now, the year that I came is when it just started going downhill with the way students behave.
And then of course COVID hit and it just ruined.
Of course, that made you feel, oh great, was I the purpose of it?
Of what?
The purpose of the kids going downhill. I moved in.
Oh no. But it's a shame. Well, our wind is picking up. We always get these wonderful gusts in this part of the country. This has been the windiest spring / summer coming that we've ever had. The wind has just blown since
They
January.
look like those weathercasters out in the background.
That we're getting ready to have a hurricane or something. And not much rain. We had very little rain, and just would love for the rain to come.
I've heard Orlando has gotten severe flooding, rain is insane.
Yeah. And we weren't going to go to Disney World in June. We were going to go to Disneyland
In California.
and I haven't heard much about Disneyland. I don't know what they're going through weather-wise.
And I think because this may be another reason, because you were telling me that Dad said that the COVID numbers were rising.
Yeah,
We're
they
like
did say that.
another.
That could be another reason why we got grounded, and it just wasn't the right time to go anywhere. But I just get so, I don't want to say jealous or envious, because we're not supposed to be that way. But when we watch all the videos of people going places, I just go, I want to go somewhere too. And we just haven't been able to go. And now with gas prices
rising.
right now in our parts, it's the highest it's been is $4.59. Right now it's $4.49, and that is just, I can't even.
In California, $7.
Yeah. And I am old enough to remember when gas was 25 cents. And I remember a trip that we went on, my dad about had a heart attack paying 45 cents for gas. He just fussed and griped.
And y'all did not plan for a trip. Y'all just kind of,
We didn't. We would get in the car. Yeah. My sister was 11 years older than me. And when she was still home and growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of money. And then when she married, my dad was a manager of an elevator and had a little bit more money. So anyway, I got to take some of the trips, and we never planned anything. We got in the car, and whichever way my dad turned is the way we went. And sometimes we would end up in California. And one time we ended up in Yellowstone, and one time we ended up in Florida. So, but our dad, my husband, her dad, what does he do?
go to same locations that he's comfortable with.
And he plans. He
Anything.
has got it planned down to the minute, which is another reason that it broke my heart, because this Christmas was going to be one of the best.
It's going to be the best.
Because he had it planned so beautifully. We were going to stay at the new,
Not the Riviera, but the thing across from this one,
the new Marriott
yeah,
thing.
Marriott one.
And every meal was just planned out.
We were going to get Mission Space, which is brand new restaurant.
And that's another reason I was bald. I literally bawled like a baby because I knew how hard he had worked on this, and we had to cancel. We lost our Cirque du Soleil tickets that were $400. $400 down the toilet because I got COVID. So it hurt.
It did.
It hurt bad. But if time goes on, there's always this Christmas, which we're talking about already. So, but I don't know that he'll get to, because of the expense of everything and the gas, and we had to cancel the plane tickets. But I think no, we don't get those back, do we? Or do we? I can't remember. The tickets to Disney World we'll have.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The hotel,
Everything else,
the bike back, but no, Cirque du Soleil was down the tubes.
I'm willing to get that back on the agenda for this year. I'm willing to pay. Just to see that show, because I've heard such awesome things about the new show of what's called the animation. Cirque du Soleil. What's it called?
I'm not sure.
It's not Cirque du Soleil anymore, it's art of something.
All I can think of is the art of animation, and that's a place to stay. So I don't know what it's called. Anyway, yeah, I hope we can do that. And I did read, and I don't know if this is right or not. I would love to hear in the comments anybody that's had a detached retina that you're not supposed to do G-force roller coasters anymore once you had a retina detached.
Drawn to life. That's what's called.
Drawn to life. Cirque du Soleil. So that would be fun. Yeah. But anyway, so at some point I will walk around and show you my garden. I've planted a lot of new things. Got lots of daylilies. Put in some lavender. It doesn't look real good right now, but I hope it will. I have a lot of some roses, and daylilies have been the best grower here in this part. And I don't know why, but they've done the best in my yard.
We kind of have our own mini oak cot.
That was my goal. When we moved to this house 20 years ago, after we had gone to Disney World and seen Epcot, and then got into the flower and garden show.
Yes, that's cool.
I thought, I'm coming home and that's going to be my yard. But nobody tells you how much work it is. It's a lot of work, a lot of trimming and
She's
cutting.
out sometimes from 8 o'clock to almost 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock.
And I'm too old. Forget what I said about being 32. 32 here, 108 everywhere else. It's hard.
34 here, but almost 98 inside.
Well, what is your mind? You said you're still in your 20s in your mind.
In my mind, I'm still a child.
Yeah. Anyway.
Child at heart.
Yeah. So, we enjoyed sharing all of this. Hope you enjoyed hearing about it. And I would love to know if there are other people that Did you lose your hair after COVID? Have you had a detached retina? Did you get a trip ruined? What, we'd like to hear anybody else that would like to share.
And if you're new to this video, please subscribe to her first and me second.
Yes, mine is Laura Loves Life, and
my name is Suzie Strother.
And she's got some really cute videos. And hers are short and quick and sweet, and they're easy to watch. Her dream in the future, maybe even in the very near future, we don't necessarily want to be like a YouTube star. I don't look like it, but I would like to be successful enough to share with people, and I just love watching other people, and this is just such a fun way to share and meet new people, even though you're not really meeting them. And we would love, this is the ultimate thing, we would love to be Disney
influencers. So Disney, if you're out there, we would love to have a trip to Disney.
And we would vlog like crazy. I mean, we've done videos. I've kind of gotten flagged because I've had to learn that, you can't have the music going from the park, actually. You have to cover it over. But there's some really good ones out there, and we would like to join them. Don't you think that would be neat?
It would.
Mother and daughter
so much fun.
in Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Now, my husband is involved too, but he likes to be in the background, and that's okay. But
there's like one video of mine that I have gotten in the video.
Yeah, he does not want to be in picture, not in video, and we're all about that. This is the ultimate, what do you take, the selfies. Walls.
Yes. I'm all about the walls at Disney. Instagram. Follow us on Instagram too.
Mine's not very good. So that's our thoughts coming up in the future. We have a visitor.
What is that?
It is a black something flying around. So thank you for watching with us today, and we appreciate it, and we feel very blessed to have what we have, and hopefully we will stay well and want everybody else to be well too. So stay safe out there. Have a blessed summer, and we will talk to you hopefully again very soon.
Very soon. Have a magical day.